Yeah! We finally crossed 7 lakh subscribers on our channel! Hey guys, Vimal here and welcome back to my channel. Today is a very special day for me because as I've told you just now, we have finally crossed 700k subscribers on the channel, guys, and to get to this point, it was very difficult. I've worked hard like each and every day and I'm like very grateful to all of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching my videos, supporting me and sharing all your love. I really love you guys. So to keep it special, see, I had to come up with a special PC build video today. So today what we'll be doing is I'll be doing the most demanded PC build by you guys. This was the 40k ultimate gaming PC build, guys. See, 40k is like the perfect budget price for a lot of people, and you know, building a perfect PC around this price point that should offer like excellent gaming performance is what you guys have been waiting for. And do not worry, this PC is like great, guys. You can do like Muscat 1080p gaming on it, and you can even play most of the 2021 AAA title games also on this thing. So coming to the point, let me tell you about the components that I've used for this build. See, for the CPU, see, 40,000 matlab you can't use Ryzen 3000 or 5000 series CPUs. They'll get like quite expensive. And that is the reason I went with Ryzen 2nd gen CPUs, and I've chosen Ryzen 5 2600X CPU, guys. It's a 6-core 12-thread CPU and is like a great CPU for the price even in 2021. It offers like excellent performance for both gaming as well as your productive side of applications. So that is the choice of CPU I went for this build. And if you talk about the motherboard, see, in this price point now you should go for either 350 series or 450 series. I already had my Gigabytes AB350N, which is like I've used in plenty of builds, and that is what I'll be choosing for this build also. Costs around 6,000, offers great features including Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, so I've chosen that. In case if this motherboard is not available for you people, you can also check out Gigabytes B450 DS3H model or something that costs around 6,800 rupees. That will be like enough for this build. So that was about the motherboard. And coming to GPU, usually around 40,000 rupees budget now, I usually suggest going with like 1650 Super or maybe go with 1660. But these days, you guys know, right, how GPUs are. First of all, they're not available, and even if they're available, crazy high prices, like everything is like overpriced, and there is no way I could have suggested you people to buy 1650 or 1660s at such high prices. And that is the reason my only advice would be to go with a second-hand GPU. And around this budget now you can go with something like a GTX 970, and that is what I've done. See, let me tell you, using GTX 970 even in 2021 will offer like great 1080p performance, and that is something I'll show you in this video. So 970 comes with 4 gigs of VRAM, guys, and is plenty for, you know, budget 1080p gaming. And if you talk about the pricing, well, I've told you, right, this is second-hand GPU. There are like plenty of 900 series GPUs available in the second-hand market, guys, both offline and online market. And I got my GTX 970 for around like 6,000 rupees. Again, second-hand market, matlab you have to do a bit of bargaining. You won't get directly, you know, at such low prices. You'll have to show your bargaining skills. Now, some of you people might say that, hey, Vimal, don't suggest second-hand components because the price that you got the product for may not be available for us in our city. But let me tell you, see, there won't be major price difference. I got the 970 for 6,000, right? In your city you might get it for around like maybe 7,000, 7,500, hardly like 500 or 1,000 rupees difference only. Check out OLX also. I found a lot of deals around like 7,000-8,000 rupees. So that was about the GPU. Now coming to the RAM, I have chosen Kingston HyperX 18x2 16 gigs of RAM for this build, guys, clocked at 2,400 megahertz, and it's like perfect for this build. And what else is left? Talking about the power supply, see, for this build now, 600 or 650 watt power supply is like more than enough, and I'm going with Zebronics power supply. This is a PGP 600 watt 80 plus white power supply. But if you have slightly higher budget, then I would suggest getting like bronze certified power supply, which is much more recommendable. And lastly, coming to the cabinet, I went with Zebronics here also. I've chosen their Cronus RGB PC case that comes with tempered glass panels on all the sides and also has 4 pre-installed RGB fans. So pretty nice features at an affordable price. And if you talk about the storage, just go with any 240 GB SSD, guys. That is like enough for this build. So that's it, guys. These are all the components that I'll be using for the build. And don't worry, I'll tell you about the pricing details at a later part in the video. So let's get started with the assembling. As I always say, building a PC is very simple guys, and anybody can do it. Just watch my video step by step and you will be able to do it in no time. The first step you need to do is install the CPU on the motherboard. The motherboard has AM4 socket. You need to open up the lever, and before installing the CPU, make sure to check and align the gold triangle on the CPU with the engraved triangle on the socket of the motherboard. Once you do that, just gently drop the CPU into the socket, and after that just pull down the lever and lock it in its place, and that's it. We are done with the installation of the CPU. Now moving on to the cooler. Well, we are using the stock cooler that you get with AMD's Ryzen 5 CPU. Now this is the most easiest cooler that you can ever install guys. You just need to place this cooler on top of the CPU and tighten up all the 4 screws on all the 4 corners. Now make sure to apply some thermal paste in case if your cooler doesn't have, but my stock cooler already came with a pre-applied layer of thermal paste, and that is the reason I'm not applying anything again separately. So keep that in mind. So tighten up all the 4 screws, and that is it. You're also done with the installation of the cooler. And to finish it up, don't forget to connect this cable. You only get this single fan cable with the cooler, right? You need to connect this to the CPU fan header on your motherboard, just like this. Now moving on, let's install the RAM sticks. We are using 2 RAM sticks from Kingston HyperX. This is their most affordable Fury Edition RAM sticks guys, each of 8 GB. So before installing, just open the lever, check for the RAM direction and push it hardly until the lever locks itself. In the same way, install the second RAM stick as well. And that's it guys, we're also done with the installation of the RAM. Total of 16 gigs of RAM for this build. Alright, now is the time we need to install the motherboard in the cabinet. But before that, don't forget to install this IO shield. Most of the budget variant come with this IO shield separately, but if you buy a premium motherboard, most of them come with like pre-installed IO shield, which can be like very handy. So anyways, just install this IO shield like this in the cabinet, and after that, take your motherboard, place it in the cabinet and align it properly such that all the holes on the cabinet match with the holes on the motherboard. And now take some screws that you get with the cabinet's box packaging and start fixing the screws in the motherboard holes. Go in a zigzag pattern and make sure not to over tighten them because you don't want to damage your brand new motherboard, right? So be a bit careful over here. Damn, the whole building process looks very simple, right? And let me tell you, we're almost like 50% done with the build. The only few things left are, installing your GPU, storage and power supply. So there you go. Here is our Zotac GTX 970 GPU. You will be installing this in the PCI slot that is closest to the CPU. Just open the lever and push it in the slot until the GPU locks itself. And that's it. We're also done with the installation of the GPU. Lastly, as I mentioned just now guys, we are just left with the installation of the power supply and the storage. So in this particular cabinet, the power supply goes at the top side. So just place it like this and make sure to fix it using the screws provided in the package. So that is it guys, we're all done with the installation and assembling the build. What I'll do is I'll just quickly install the storage thing and also connect all the cables and be right back to continue the video. There you go, our 40k budget build is all ready and good to go. Now since this is a budget PC, don't expect clean cable management as there are no shrouds or compartments in the cabinet to hide the cables. And boy oh boy, I'm seeing those mustard PSU cables after many years. Despite that, I still feel I've done a nice job organizing all the cables neatly. Okay, it's finally time guys, let's power it on and see how this baby looks like. Holy smokes, the PC actually looks good for the price. The Zeb Cronus case offers tempered glass panels on all the sides and comes with 4 RGB fans pre-installed that gives a beautiful look to the build. Again, RGB lighting on the fans is not customizable as it's got fixed lighting, but the lighting on your internal components can be tweaked. But let me tell you, to be honest, I was not expecting this 40k build to turn out this good at the end. Just have a look at these shots and I hope you enjoy them. By the way, I've told you right, today's theme was complete Zebronics. That's the reason I'm using the monitor and peripherals also from the same brand. It's a 27-inch 1080p 75Hz monitor. Links will be in the description box below. Alright, now comes the fun part. How does this PC actually perform while gaming? Well, we're gonna put that to a test. I'll be playing a couple of AAA title games at 1080p resolution with all the graphics set to very high. So let's see how it goes. Starting off with our all-time favorite, GTA 5. As you can see, all the graphic options are currently set to very high, VSync is turned off, and you can monitor all the CPU and GPU stats at the top left corner of the screen. Oh my god, now that is what I'm talking about. You guys seeing those frame rates? On GTA 5 at 1080p very high graphics, we were easily getting around 85 to 90 FPS on an average. I just can't believe that a 40k budget build is performing so good. Buttery smooth gameplay. I've told you right, GTX 970 is no slouch even in 2021. It's a great performing GPU for the price with 4 gigs of VRAM and is plenty for playing AAA title games at 1080p resolution. Pair that with a Ryzen 5 2600X CPU, kaboom! Excellent gaming and multitasking performance. You can even do all your productive sort of applications like photo editing, 4K video editing and coding related stuff also on this PC. One thing I've observed while testing out was AMD stock cooler is not sufficient to keep the Ryzen 5 CPU cool. Especially this is summer season, right? And you guys know, right? India ka summer to alag hi level ka hai. So I would advise you to get a decent air cooler from Cooler Master or maybe Deep Cool around 2 to 3,000 rupees to keep the CPU temperatures in check. And by lowering the graphics to normal mode in GTA 5 at 1080p, I was getting a mind-blowing FPS of around 120 to 130 FPS on an average. Just check out this gameplay. Okay, let's also play some of the newly released AAA title games and see how this PC handles them. We're playing Watch Dogs Legion at medium to high graphics at 1080p. Just have a look at this test.
I'm just gonna borrow this indefinitely.
Damn, that is actually good. We were getting around 50 to 55 FPS on an average, which is more than enough to smoothly enjoy gaming. Lastly, let's also play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. We're doing this test at 1080p medium graphics, so let's see how it goes. See, Valhalla is a very graphic intensive game, but not bad guys. Based on my testing, we were maintaining around 40 to 45 FPS on an average. Lower the graphic options and you can easily get a constant 55 to 60 FPS. So this concludes our video. Our 40k budget build can handle any AAA title game even launched in 2021 at 1080p resolution at very decent frame rates. You'll be quite satisfied with the results building this PC. Alright, time to wrap up the video. Let me tell you about the pricing. The Ryzen 5 2600X costs around 14,400 rupees in India. Gigabytes AB350N is available around 6,000 rupees. And alternatively, you can also go for the B450 series from Gigabyte, which is the DS3H series available around like 6,800 or something like that. Kingston HyperX Fury 16GB kit costs around 6,000 rupees for the base variant. Our refurbished Zotac 970 costed me around 6,000 rupees. Coming to the power supply, the ZEB PGP 600W 80 plus white is available for around 3,600 and the ZEB Cronus RGB cabinet costed around 2,700 and lastly get any brand 240GB SSD for around 2,500 rupees. So the total budget of this build comes down to 41,200 rupees and this, my friends, is the ultimate gaming PC you can build around this price point. I'll leave links for these in the description box below. You can check it out there. So that's it for today. I hope you all enjoyed watching the video and got to learn a lot. Make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos. And I'll see you all in my next one.